today. From Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is the National Football League. It's the Green Bay Packers taking on the Houston Texans.
This is such a special place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. 6'4" Jordan Love taking the field for the first time. The 2020 first-round pick from Utah State set to lead Green Bay.
And at the start of Jordan Love's NFL career, he had one of the best seats in the stadium watching Aaron Rodgers work. But now he's looking for more than that. Rocket arm, big play potential. And he wants to show this organization that he's capable of being a dependable starter for the foreseeable future.
Here's Love looking to pass on the first play. That one caught downfield by Watson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 48-yard line. Throwing. Love. Complete once again to Watson. And he's got this down to the 35. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down. To throw now. Here's Love. Flushed out right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. And they're going to speed things up here. Now a second down throw for Love here. Able to find his man, Kraft. And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10. Now Love. And his throw is incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
On 3rd down, Love. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Anytime they think they've got him open beyond the markers, you know they're going to throw it his way. And that's not going to change even after that incompletion was forced.
The kick by McManus is good. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. That was a long, sustained opening drive, but in the end, only able to get 3, the field goal out of it.
And absolutely, you'll take the points and the early. Be a little bit of disappointment that they didn't punch it in for 6 after that kind of yardage and that kind of drive that they had.
So here come the Texans now for their first drive. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Stroud now on 1st and 10. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Throwing now is Stroud. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Stroud working out of the gun. Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. 5 yards, and that means they come up short as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive. Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return, and it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. And Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a 1st down.
Anytime you hear the term an explosive run, most teams I know define that as any run over 10 yards, and they got that and more. How about a lot of credit for the big guys up front? That offensive line firing out, creating plenty of space, and a big run ensued.
Down the sideline he goes. And he's going to be shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 57 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around 1st and 10. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. 2nd and 10. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. That was Will Anderson getting home and finishing the play.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
It may be only a gain of 3 yards, but that back, he deserves a lot more credit on the play. That could have easily been stopped at the line, but his vision and his determination found some space to turn it into that modest gain.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Option right, here's Stroud. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And this pass broken up. The contact well-timed there, and now 4th down.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
Here's Tommy Townsend now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. On the return following a punt of 41. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And their 2 drives thus far both led to points, albeit both field goals, so the lead just 6-0, but the ability to move the ball is evident.
Well, that's, heartening, as they say, but it's not what they're about. What they're about is putting the ball in the end zone and putting 6s on the board. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you like what you're doing, but you don't love it. You've got to find a way to ring that bell. Then you can have a little self-satisfied grin. Right now, a little more determination is needed.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. Love looking to throw it. And this one is incomplete.
So much about defending the pass is being able to be right there at the moment the ball gets to the receiver, and he was right in his hip pocket, helping force that incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. To pass, here's Jordan Love. That's to Kraft, the tight end. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Romeo Doubs, 37 yards. And the Packers are able to widen their advantage. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
McManus's point after is good, and the lead now stands at 13. Just a 4-play drive that time. And that drive all capped off with a Romeo Doubs touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. The Texans back out there and ready to go. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. Stroud looking to throw. And his pass incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
3rd down and 6. A shotgun snap to Stroud. That is caught. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Stroud to the air on 1st and 10. That one complete. It's Tank Dell. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. An option handoff here to Mixon. He's got it to the 43 here.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. From the 43, here's a 2nd and 7. Here's Stroud to the right side and caught by Dell. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers 33. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Stroud to throw it. Got his man, Dell.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
The 2nd down throw now from Stroud. On a slant, here's Collins. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Here goes Stroud again. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now Stroud. A nice pickup, but he also takes a pretty good lick at the end of that one.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense. And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Under pressure now, and he's going to go down just inside the 5-yard line. So we're at halftime here at Lambeau with the Packers taking the lead to the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports halftime report. It was an excellent first half from quarterback Jordan Love. He's got a touchdown pass on the ledger as his guys were able to build a double-digit lead. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far and certainly plenty to look forward to as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs.
And get in by Collins. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose, and that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Now it's Mixon running right. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. This is 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that'll lead here to a third down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays at that spot. 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. Love going to break the huddle, lead the Packers up here 1st and 10 at their own 18. He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. So the delay of game penalty backs them up. It's now 2nd and 7. On play action. Love to throw. This is caught. It's Christian Watson. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And quickly they get to the line. Now a give to Jacobs running right. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Love, they go play action now. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 40. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Lambeau Field, one of the best home field advantages in the NFL, no doubt. And they're a happy bunch here as the Packers lead 3rd quarter. Escaping the pressure right. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. 75 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Play fake. Here's Love. Eluding the pressure right. Looking right sideline, that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the 4th quarter. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll run right here with Jacobs. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. One more time with Jacobs. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal. Love now. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
I guess not content to get another 3 here late. They'll try to add 6 more as they go on 4th and goal. They go with Jacobs, and he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Josh Jacobs taking it in from a yard out. And the Packers have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. This defense held out as long as they could, but ultimately the running game wears them down from the 1-yard line.
And that gets set up throughout the entire drive, doesn't it? And when you put those big bodies and determination into that carry, the end result, touchdown.
The Packer offense and Jordan Love staying out there, so they're going to try to go for 2. They'll try to run it with Jacobs. Come up empty on the try for 2.
Well, partner, since this new two-point rule came into play, offense has spent a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Operating from the gun, Stroud.
And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Stroud. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. A beautiful fake. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 26 and a first down. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
The throwing again is Stroud.
And Diggs has it. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston.
Joe Mixon.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Texans are finally on the board here in the fourth quarter. Well, they needed 3 scores to have any chance. There's the first of the 3 as they get into the end zone.
Yeah, Brandon, I think that our guys at Next Gen Stats in charge of the win probability are probably saying your chances still aren't great. But now, you still got more than 3 minutes to go. You got to focus on the task at hand, which is going to be getting the football back as quickly as possible.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. So that drive 6 plays, 75 yards. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
From the 34-yard line, here's a 2nd and 5.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
They'll fake the jet sweep there. Instead, hand to Jacobs up the middle.
And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. And they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4.
minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column.
60 red. 60 red.
Off the play fake, Love. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder, Jimmy Ward. And the Texans will take over here just shy of the 30. Now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the fourth.
And in the old days, not too long gone either, throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no. But the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete. Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Here's Stroud. Finding Schultz. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10. Now, a quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Meanwhile, Stroud's throw taken in by Diggs. Here's 1st down. Stroud to throw it. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Now Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Stroud. Back of the end zone, could he get his... And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So the folks in New York just going to wind up confirming what the officials saw, as this play will stand as is. Stroud will look to throw once more. And he's going to go down. Safe back at the 13-yard line. This crowd doing all they can. Here's 3rd and goal. Under pressure, they got him again. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown. And that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This is the type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Packers are winners here as we say so long from Lambeau.